thank you for your invitation. Good afternoon. Sorry, but this will sitting talk because I'm sick, very sick. The aim of my presentation is to construct an asymptotic confidence region for a parameter of interest which could be Hadamard functional at the probability of the observational random vectors. These results are obtained with joint work with Patrice Bertaille and Hugo Harari-Kermadec. We are in non-parametric framework and essentially used to generalize empirical likelihood method. For this, we consider an IID ensemble random vectors with distribution P. And we are interested in the multidimensional parameter theta 0. However, this parameter is an image of distribution P by a functional T which is Hadamard differentiable. For all follows, we denote Cn alpha, the asymptotic confidence region of theta 0, where the confidence is 1 minus alpha. We are interested by this kind of parameter because it is a large class of parameter, more large than M estimator. And in the same time, this is a class of parameter which have good properties. There exist many examples of this parameter, for example, the two-dimensional cumulative hazard function or the man-witness statistic. We could find examples of these references. More precisely, we said that a functional is Hadamard differentiable at a signed measure P, tangentially to a ball B of signed measures. This ball is needed to be uniformly continuous and bounded against a subset F of function of L to P. So the choice of subset F and ball B are important. We said that T is HDTF against P if and only if there exists a continuous linear mapping from set of signed measures to RQ, such that for any convergence of signed measure mu n in ball B and any sequence Tn of real converging to 0 as n tends to infinity, we have the rate of increase of T at P in the direction of mu n converges. We recognize the influence function which is defined by this. Note that the integral against P of the influence function at P is equals to 0. I present some bibliography on this part, classical bibliography. In the goal to propose an asymptotic confidence region on theta 0, we use 4 steps. The first 3 are classical, since this is the ordinary empirical likelihood method proposed by Owen, then by the extension to the generalized empirical likelihood, that is GEL, and the classical duality result. We use 2 new results, essentially because GEL deals with a set of signed measures. These new results allow us to control the size of some weighted of these signed measures and the number of the negative weight of them. We adopt the plan as following, which corresponding at these 4 steps. We recall here what is the method of original empirical likelihood. Now, the interest parameter is the mean. We denote big theta n, the convex hull of the observations. Owen studied the ratio of empirical likelihood with the measure Qn equals to small q1 to small qn is a probability measure, and big Qn respects the plug-in version of constraints. The log empirical likelihood is denoted by L of theta, like this. The method of Lagrange multipliers may be used to obtain an expression for L theta. With this expression, Owen was able to establish the convergence of L theta to the T2 distribution with Q degrees of freedom. So, the corresponding asymptotic confidence region was proposed. We can see this method with more generalized point of view. We denote Pn the empirical measure with Qn a measure dominated by Qn. The ratio of On could be rewriting with this expression. We can see that Qn is a probability measure. So we can see that the log ratio L theta is the Kullback divergence between Pn and Qn is a probability measure with respect to the empirical constraint. I present here a too short bibliography of this part. Many authors proposed extensions of this method, in particular to deal with more various divergences than the Kullback-Leibler discrepancy. They also proposed to deal with more larger class of parameters and establish results for M estimators. We follow economic words and call this generic method generalized empirical likelihood. We work with the phi-star divergence. We recall its construction. Let phi a convex function with a support not empty. And we denote by phi-star its Fenchel-Legendre transform. While H1 to Hs, without specific here as a detail, as the assumption of phi. This is regularities, normalization, and support conditions. The I phi-star divergence or phi-star discrepancy are defined here. And yes, this is a divergence between a signed measure Q and a positive measure P. Then we can revise the method with the same lines, and previously studies are shown that similar results could be obtained. However, note that we search now the minimizer in a set of signed measures and not in probability measure. There exists a very extensive bibliography of this array. Here is a small selection. The third step is the duality result. For us, this is the main interest of phi-star discrepancies. If measure P and functional phi and the parameter check the qualifications conditions, then we have used the duality expressions. So, looking after the signed measure with constraints is looking after the vector parameter without constraints. Because the empirical candidate of minimizer verifies the empirical constraints, that is, we have exactly expression of the constraints in the duality result, and we had applied it. It remains to obtain the asymptotic distributions of beta n of theta. We not show it here, but it was established in different frameworks. And we present a very short bibliography at this part, but with complete paper on this area. We recall that our purpose is to extend the previously result to a larger class of parameters, that is the Hadamard differentiable parameter. So we had these minimizations, and now we want to study this one. Only the parametric constraint is changed. We define a subset of signed measure, parametric signed measure, dominated by Pn, the empirical probability, which are controlled by the phi star discrepancy, controlled by the key2 quantile of distribution with q degree of freedoms. In this case, we want to prove that the corresponding confidence region is asymptotically convergent. To obtain this result, we have need to additional assumptions. We consider a subset of function in L2P, that is f, big F, and the measure which are a uniform norm against f as final. To avoid of-measurability problem, we consider all expectations on measure as outer expectations or, similarly, outer measures. We suppose a regularity of f, and in particular, an envelope H in L2P and a classical uniform entropy condition. This is a classical. We assume the assumptions hold. If the influence function is in L2P of rank Q, then we are obtain the wanted result. There are three key points of the proof. The first one consists to control the size of the number of the candidate Qn. In minus is the weighting, negative weighting of empirical Qn. Okay, and the n is the cardinality of In minus. So we control the number of negative weighting. In particular, we have a control of the number of the negative weighting of Qn. The second point of proof consists to use to intensively the previous result for control Qen, the size of Qen and the size of norm of Qen in various scales, and the technical arguments and convergence of empirical processes like van der Waals result with the control of entropy. The last one, key points, consists to use the result of GEL, generalized empirical likelihood, with M estimator constraint and choose a particular F. With a rewriting confidence region Cn, just a normalization, we could extend the result to Cn tilde H, that is the confidence region with constraint with Hadamard differentiable, because Cn is just the linearized and renormalized part of Cn tilde. We achieve the proof by the second result on the uniform control of the Riemann. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
And there are questions, remarks. About you liked the role of the chi-square divergence in order to handle negative parts of some measures in order to perform the estimation of the confidence set, embedding the problem in the realm of signed probability measures. Now, is this to be a strong argument in favor of the chi-square divergence, because it allows to solve those kinds of problems. Other kinds of situations where, for example, where those signed measures appear naturally in chi-square might be, for example, in mixture models when we want to test for the number of components, so that the problem of test could be a frontier problem in the set of probability measures. It gives the idea that there are various motivations for the chi-square as a tool.
We have a very interesting by this result, because the control of negative weight not depends on the choice of discrepancy. That is, Q is for a confidence more than quantile confidence more than 1. As to, upper than 1, 2, on 2 is equivalent. There is no phi here, not an phi. So the choice, it's interesting. The choice of divergence don't impact of the possibility of pick up a negative QN. That is not the same for Q is super upper to 1, there is, but down this, there is not phi. It's very interesting. We don't explore all this result. But I think it's part of the
So, if I could just highlight the fact that in all those talks in this session, the problem with it, and not only those, the choice of the divergence is still kind of a wide range of questions to motivate descriptions.
We think that the importance of choice of divergence is for the point where are important because the weight is more than the initial weight. That is.
Well, thank you very much.